The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Saban Entertainment, and Subaraya Productions. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Tokucast Top 10 show.
Top 10.
Top yes.
Damn, you were fast this time.
Yep.
What are we doing today?
Today we are doing the Top 10 Red Power Rangers.
Yay, we're back to Power Ranger Top 10s. It means I'll actually talk a little bit more.
Means you actually care about what's going on.
Yeah.
That's why you're not in the other ones.
Yeah.
Also, it's nice to be talking about something that's good for once.
True.
Yeah, we were on the worst list for a good while.
Yeah, that is also a thing. Also, who the fuck cares about the best or the worst Pink Rangers? I'm not sexist, but come on. Who cares?
We'll know once the video goes up.
Yep.
True. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong.
They probably will.
Good. Anyway, I don't mind being wrong in this case. Top 10 Red Rangers. I don't think we have any honorable mentions this time.
No, we don't. Number 10, Casey from Jungle Fury.
Trying to figure out, it was a good growth story with him as the beginner to the master, and then you get to kind of see him full grown when he comes back in Super Mega Force, and that just hurts to say. But he was a nice character. You got to see him learn, you got to see him become a leader. I thought he was a good Red Ranger.
And I actually really liked him when he came back in Super Mega Force.
Yeah, he did not
That was one of the few highlights.
He was like basically the only one who came back when his counterpart came back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Came back as Ranger too.
He did too.
And he also directed that episode, I believe, which
Yeah.
he did a very good job on that.
Speaking of John, just this is a little side note. He'll be in Geed soon. So
Cool.
we actually get to see his actor again.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a little bit. I like when actors come back.
Yes, we all do.
Jungle Fury. Next.
Number 9, Tommy from Power Rangers Zeo.
Please do a close-up on him when you did that.
Yeah. Anyway, Tommy, what can you say? He finally made a list. But he's not number one.
Nope, he would not be.
He's not the best Red Ranger.
Do we love Tommy? Yes,
Absolutely.
of course we love Tommy, but he's not the best Red Ranger.
But he is a good one.
He's a good one.
He is a good one.
He is on our list after all.
He worked his way from outsider to leader, and now it's official.
3 times over.
Yeah, and now he's officially a Red Ranger. And it was a good season, and he was a great leader, but not the best. We love Tommy and all his grunts. I'm not even gonna. Anyway, but close up on him when he does that. But there were just better ones.
Yeah, it's just
For example,
for a lot of
things
with Tommy, it's like really weird because
our segue got killed.
Yeah.
He didn't do much as a Red Ranger. It's like, yeah, he was red, he was a leader, but he really didn't do much.
This was also in the early days of Power Rangers where they didn't have to do much except fight the Monster of the Week.
Yeah. I mean, they even did that, Zero, and
Zero.
Power Rangers Zero.
And, for the little time that he was
The
Red
origin
Turbo.
story.
For half a season he was Red Turbo.
Yeah.
But, anyway, back to segue. Next.
Number 8, Carter from Lightspeed Rescue.
Shoot first, ask questions never.
Yep. Thanks, Linkara.
Yeah.
But he was
great.
He was a great leader. He immediately took charge. Like, even before he got the morpher, he's like, everyone's like, nah, fuck this. And he's like, no, we have to do this.
Coming from being a fighter, I think captain of that fighter squadron.
I don't think that was ever clear, but he was
I mean, it makes sense if he
yeah.
was. But, it makes sense especially if he was coming from that to being the leader of the Lightspeed Rescue Team. And, that show was generally good, minus a character, but... Yeah. Again, we end up running into this issue where just like, yeah, the story might be pretty good, but it's sort of weird, and we did this in our hand comparison. It's sort of weird between Go-Go 5 and them, especially going from the older sibling to just a fighter captain in this one. But Carter was still a great character.
He was still very good.
He's fun to watch, and not a lot of people talk about Lightspeed Rescue, but I really like that show.
I did too.
It's a good one.
I tried rewatching it once, and I couldn't get past listening to Blue fight because he thinks he's Bruce Lee. And I did at the time. I was just like, I can't take the racial stereotype because he's the one Asian guy. But
Plus, he didn't do much.
Plus, he did not do much. But it was still a good... That is also still, I think, one of my favorite Power Ranger pilots. First episodes. Yeah. That's a top 10 list for another day.
That's a good one.
Moving on.
Number 7, Leo from Lost Galaxy.
Oh, that whole thing with him and his brother.
Yeah, he made this list because he was thrusted, no pun intended, onto
it's
this
a sword fighting show. Double pun intended.
thrusted into this role after his brother got killed, quote, killed, unquote. But he did a good job in bringing them together in this weird situation they ended up being in after being a stowaway. Yeah,
it's just... Now, we can't really count this one, of course, for the pilots because they don't really end up doing much until episode 2.
Well, if we ever do that top 10 list, I will consider 2-parters as one pilot.
But Leo was still really... It's just, seeing him really grow, especially at the end where he ended up having to fight Turkina by himself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And just a point-blank shot to the face where we literally all thought he died. So... but... Lost Galaxy.
He took this Guardian role. He got real seriously.
But yeah, it's like Lost Galaxy was a good show, and Leo was a really good leader for that team. Although it didn't really feel like so much that he was the leader. It felt more like it was a group effort in that show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because everybody seemed to be more or less on the same bar. Yeah.
Number 6, Jason from Power Rangers 2017. One of the best things that Power Rangers 2017, the movie that came out this year, had going for it was its cast.
Which is something you never thought you'd say about a Power Rangers anything.
Yeah. That was the best thing about the movie, and Jason in this movie is a great leader.
No, he did wonderfully.
He was great.
He was... Yeah, I can't even begin to say how great...
Did you just slap me? Yeah. Weird, right?
I love that.
I love that scene.
I love that. I love how immediately he grew to be like an older brother type figure to Billy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love their dynamic.
Their dynamic and their chemistry was great. I'm glad
the whole team's chemistry was great.
I'm honestly glad they took out that romance bit with him and Kimberly out of that you see in the trailer. Because you see them kissing in the trailer and it didn't make it in the movie. I'm glad they took that out. Because one, that really didn't fit into the team building dynamic they were trying to build.
And 2, it sets it up for the hopeful sequel. It's Tommy.
I mean, if Assassin's Creed is going to get a sequel, Power Rangers gets a sequel.
Is it?
They are planning on making one.
Yeah, planning does not equal making.
Yeah.
We'll see. I don't know, but we'll see. There are plenty of movies that did not
I would much rather... Yeah, Kingsman.
We'll have... That's another show we can put on the Patreon. Movie debates. Moving on.
It already exists. But number 5, Tyler from Dino Charge, parentheses, he was hot.
Yeah, it's true. But he was also a really, really good character.
He was a great character. They took enough from Kyoryuger without making him overpowered. Thank God. But still the missing dad motif, which I'm glad they kind of took in a different direction, making him the Aqua Ranger as opposed to the next Silver Ranger.
Yeah.
Which was cool. But he was very charismatic. He got along. It seemed like he just fit right in with everybody, even though he came from freaking God knows where.
He literally came from nowhere in that show.
Yeah.
But
where are you from?
I think he fits the most because he looked as old as his son. He looked literally as old as his son.
You talking about his dad? Or?
Yeah. Because the way that the thing halted aging.
Yeah.
But it was just, it's good to see them, and I love, the dynamic that they really had, even though his dad wasn't in the show that much.
No.
It's still good to see them.
And
I like
it was once again, we're back to
a romance that worked.
Mm.
And it was
adorable. We don't say that much.
It was adorable.
Because their counterpart was bullshit. But in this case,
the counterpart did not have a romance until the very last episode.
Shameless plug to Marcus's rant on romance in Super Sentai.
Fuck that. But yeah, it really worked a lot better in this one because I like that.
You like the characters.
Yeah, I like the characters and I like the idea of them together. It doesn't work nearly as well, in Kyoryuger because it came from nowhere. But in this one, we had legitimate build up, enough to see them really interact together and things like that. The romance build, I like that. It was a good addition to the show, and it's weird that we can say when it ends up coming from a Power Rangers, from a Super Sentai Duo Power Rangers, that they fixed something. They fixed that, and they did it a lot better.
They fixed a lot with Kyoryuger, and then they broke some other things.
But that's beside the point. Tyler was still a good character. He was a good leader.
He was funny.
He was energetic.
Funny. I love the bit.
Very good.
The actor was great. I love the bit where they all lose their memory and he's holding his wallet up. Does anybody know what Tyler? And then their memories come back. Wait, I'm Tyler. This is my wallet. That was just... I still laugh to that.
I loved his fight with Fury. His
Which
Unmorph
one?
Fight.
Oh, his Unmorph fight? Yeah. Seeing Unmorph fights in Power Rangers...
It's always such... Because they don't really do it as much anymore. But when you end up having somebody like Yoshi Sudarso and his brother, even though Ninja Steel is bad. But even though we end up seeing something like with the two of them, because they're both, they practice martial arts and apparently so does Tyler's actor. It's good to see that because we don't end up seeing it that often nowadays. Like we did back in the 90s.
I really need to give Ninja Steel a shot so I can actually
Don't.
have an opinion on it. I can't have an opinion on a show I haven't seen.
He makes a fair point.
Anyway.
It's your funeral.
Who's next?
Next is Jack from SPD.
From zero to hero.
Who Marcus also thinks is hot.
Oh, yeah, Marcus also thinks he's hot.
I love Jack. He was fun. And it's really good to see him, he had that arrogance, especially the whole thing with right before they became the SWAT team with, the rest of the team going through the mud and everything. But it's literally coming from zero to being the Robin Hood-esque character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Going to, a police officer and then going back to really just strictly helping his community. I love that growth of the character.
Yeah,
itself.
he had a great arc throughout all of SPD.
SPD in general.
Especially the moment where the meteor and he sends Sky back. Once again, a Red Ranger sacrificing himself, but not really because this is a Saban show and death doesn't go well with the kiddies.
Unless you're Lost Galaxy.
Unless you're Lost Galaxy.
And then you fix it at the end.
But then, even
look at you,
that
W.
doesn't matter.
Anyway,
but Jack himself is just
I also like the civilian powers in this show. It worked much more.
Yeah, it worked a lot better.
In other shows, and he actually, they use them.
Yeah, and it, especially because just the way that team works out, minus Omega, but their dynamics with each other. Shut up. Their dynamics with each other just makes the characters we can honestly end up saying this basically for every single one of the lists that we end up having for our Power Rangers ones. An SPD character is going to be somewhere on there. So
except Omega, apparently.
Yeah, except him.
I'm sorry he can't cross-dress.
He was so good. But anyway, yeah, Jack was a great character. He was fun. I enjoyed him, and he's one of the main reasons I really loved
I still vividly remember an episode where he's on a stakeout with the Pink Ranger.
Yeah.
And they have to, and she finds out that he doesn't know when his birthday is.
Yeah.
And there's this sad moment of, oh, God, your life was horrible. Power Rangers! Who's next?
Oh, this season
Wes from Time Force.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same reason the Red Ranger from Time Ranger would be on this list, because they're the exact same character.
Mm.
I feel like it did a little bit better with Wes. Now, of course, Time Ranger does end up having, Time Force does end up having its issues because, random things they didn't bring over from Time Ranger. Mm-hmm. But Wes was still a good character. A lot of the things that we said in our in comparison is just going to be repeated here. But seeing that growth of him, he wasn't really spoiled, but he still had that mindset. And then they sort of broke him of that, the whole fight with Ranzig, and then wanted to sacrifice himself at the end. It was just a really...
Also another decent romance in Power Rangers.
Yeah, I liked him in Jen. And Wesley Collins, man. He was just a really good character. It was fun to watch. I love the interactions. Once again, it's another show where the character interactions really stand out.
Really good at this one.
Especially between him and Jen, him and his dad, him and the Quantum Ranger. He's got a lot of good chemistry to bounce with.
Yeah.
So...
And it really shows... Because this show has, this, and I can say this, because this and SPD had, really, really good choice in actors. Because it really shows, their acting ability through the characters. Mm-hmm. And that really works, with this and SPD, it's just they did really, really well on the casting. And that's something more about the actor and the fact that he loves to come back every once in a while. It's good to see him.
Mm-hmm.
I think he'll be coming back in Ninja Steel.
Sweet.
Cool.
Next.
Number 2, Scott from RPM.
Yeah. Ooh.
Where do we begin?
Ooh, Ika Darville, man.
First of all, I'm glad we still get to see him. That's another thing. We don't get to see Power Rangers after Power Rangers a lot.
Yeah, they're actors.
Yeah, they're actors. So, seeing him in Jessica Jones, great. And he's great in Jessica Jones.
He was also in Spartacus, and then he hung himself.
Let's not go there. Anyway,
he's not in the show for very long.
Trying to avoid the darkness, he's a drug addict in Jessica Jones, or a recovering drug addict. Moving on. He starts with
but the character
becoming a Red Ranger, his dad looking at him saying almost saying the wrong son died. Which, 1, wow. 2, is this Power Rangers? Are we sure we're watching Power Rangers?
RPM was a great season.
Are we sure not watching Mad Max?
RPM was a great season.
RPM was a great season. He took the leader role and ran with it. Especially when they brought in Black, who was another alpha male, and they butt heads a lot.
Yeah, that dynamic between the two of them. But it's just like, Scott really, a lot of his stuff really ends up focusing on his dad and wanting to be as good as for his dad as possible. And that really ends up, culminating at the very end of the show, of course. But I really like, just seeing his growth and the way that everything ends up really working with that character and how he ends up interacting with everyone and him trying to be the leader and then Dylan's just like, how about no? And so, but I really, really just enjoyed this show and watching Scott. This is, once again, another one of those shows where they picked very well on the casting. And Iguodara was a great choice for, being Scott.
Before we move on to number 1, I did come up with an honorable mention.
Who is that?
Cole from Wild Force. Y'all can suck it. He was a good Red Ranger.
Okay.
I thought he was a good leader. I thought he was a decent character. Also, watching him grow, learning about what happened to his parents.
Tarzan.
I don't care if he was Tarzan the Power Ranger. He was still good, damn it. Also, you can't deny that finale.
The finale was great.
You cannot deny that finale.
Yeah, the finale.
Also, I love their. I just love their catchphrase.
We are not going to talk about the actor here.
Nope. Because we'll talk about his actor in one other case. He was the best thing about Samurai. Moving on.
Moving on to number 1, Andros from In Space.
He lost so much.
Yeah.
Lost so much. But he still ended up being like one of those strong characters, and he really didn't want to put anybody else in danger. That's why he really didn't accept, the remnants of the Turbo Rangers at the beginning. And then, he found...
Also, I'm sorry, if 4 random people in tattered clothes ended up on my ship as stowaways, I wouldn't kind of want them to stick around either.
I also don't want this cricket to stick around, but here we are. But, yes,
That's
just
like... his enthusiasm for our show.
Yeah, that whole thing, and then watching him really have to...
kind of be a team again.
Adapt to the fact that his sister was the evil astronomer.
And
then the whole thing with Zane and how guilty he felt over Zane being injured.
He had a lot of character development in a show. And not to mention having to be the one to kill Zordon. Let's just say that again. Had to be the one to kill Zordon.
You mean Zordon?
Shut up. No, moving on.
No, that's Zordon's twin brother.
But it's okay. There's a perfectly good explanation for that.
Coming soon in Super Ninja Steel. Zordon.
But yeah. Andros was just a really, really good character. Like, he had to do so much. And of course, they did end up having sort of the bullshit ending with the tears. But...
I forgot about that.
Pikachu tears?
Yep.
Yeah. But
got rid of all the evil out of his sister, because that's how shit works.
But it's just...
I mean, he's telekinetic. Let's just remember that. Who the fuck knows what's up with his alien genealogy? So, who knows?
But it was interesting enough just to really watch that character just have to deal with so much throughout the show and just learn how to, be a team again and work with everyone and, having to deal with his sister and having to deal with actually bringing Zane back. It's just really interesting to actually see that much growth. And this is also the season where we end up getting the most out of the second Turbo team because they weren't good in their show. So...
But that is our top 10. As always, let us know what you think and who's your favorite Red Ranger and Power Rangers. Let us know if we missed them or, we always like sparking discussion in the comments.
Missed him.
Moving on. Also, quick announcement, we are starting a Patreon. So if you are a member, go to the Tokucast on Patreon and pledge. We will be offering exclusive content to our pledgers, whatever the fuck you want to call them. I don't care. Exclusive content like reviews of anime, maybe even other things like Japanese live-action movies, stuff like that. Keep laughing at me, but...
The pledges.
We know what you meant.
Yep. Anyway, our pledges...
Hopefully they did too.
Our pledges. That's what it's going to be called now. That's what they're going to be called now.
But yeah, but our rewards are not finalized yet. So
we're currently doing it as we're recording this.
So do not feel the need to go rush out and pledge immediately.
Well, by the time this comes out, it will probably be set up.
Well, we'll see.
But right now, we're not really thinking about too many tiers because we don't have as much to offer. But we will be adding it soon, and as we do, we will let you know. Mm-hmm. But we are the Tokucast on Patreon. Please go pledge whenever you get a chance. And we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, pledges.